Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming a little book review, as you can tell from the title for this, and I'm going to talk about Lost Kingdom by Laurel Black. And this one was an arc that I got from the author who reached out. It is indie published and it was released on the 17th of January, so now over a month ago, but I had to send it to myself, so it took a bit of time to get it. But we're here, we're reviewing, I read it, and I didn't really have, a lot of expectations in a way that I hadn't heard about it before the author contacted me about it. And then also, you never know with indie, because I feel like they can be really weird in a different way than traditionally published books are weird. But obviously they can also be super weird and not necessarily good just because they are traditionally published. I'm not saying that. But I was a bit like, will I like it? Because you can honestly never know. And I started it and I was like, okay, getting into the story. The writing was pretty good. Like I was like, yeah, this has been edited and I really enjoyed myself. And I ended up really overall enjoying the story. And I am very happy to say that. So now I'm going to tell you a bit what it is about, maybe. So we follow dual point of view. We have a main character, Raven, who has now been enslaved in these mines. And she doesn't remember anything about her life before she arrived at these mines. I think it was 6 or 7 months ago when we started the book. And she does like have a friend there and they do want to escape together and survive. And it's like terrible there. And she doesn't know anything about anything because she doesn't remember anything. All her memories are lost. And we are like, oh, interesting. Not, the most original concept. It doesn't need to be, but I'm thinking that what can be done with this concept that hasn't been done before, and can you carry this concept well? I was intrigued. We also have our dude point of view, which is Yedak. I don't really know how to say it because you have different tribes of people and he's from one of the tribes and he is working for the king of his tribe to save his fiance who has now been on hostage for him, and he's trying to find this stone that has a lot of power. He finds out that Raven might have the answer on her skin where she has a map, maybe. And can she read this map? Can he read his map? They need to work together, and we go on this like kind of journey across story. A lot of people are after them because a lot of people want this map and want this stone. Raven doesn't know everything that's going on because she doesn't have any memories. They both are kind of lying to each other. They both don't tell the whole truth about what they want. But like she wants to find out how to get her memories back and get her powers to be working again because she does have magic but cannot use it or access it. And he wants to use her obviously to get the stone on a map, and then maybe they will fall for each other on the way. I thought that the story was constructed really well, like in the way that we set up these two point of views. It obviously had a lot of things going on in their minds and was in a way using each other while at the same time trying to trust each other. And sometimes I can be really frustrated if characters are like, why are you just not being truthful about this? Like, why are you keeping this a secret? But it kind of made sense because why would these people trust each other in a way? They both needed things from the other. So like they don't need to tell everything about themselves. And it made sense to me that they wouldn't just like blurt out everything. Even though honestly brings you very far. But like they didn't have any reason to be honest with each other, at least in the beginning. They just met, So I feel like that was really natural for them to keep themselves back a bit from each other. I found the world really interesting. We do have a map. I got a map in the package. And we do also have kind of like these different tribes. They all have been suppressed by the king that rules this land, the one who like control the mine. And then Raymond is from a new tribe, which has kind of survived, but we don't know a lot about it because she doesn't have any memories. But we do slowly like unravel stuff about her past. We might meet people from her past that know things, obviously, and then I don't know if I can trust them either because Raven doesn't know if she can trust them because obviously she doesn't have any memories. So I thought that like the suspense of like what is the truth of her past, even though obviously if you read fantasy you can guess that she might be a very important person, but I thought it was interesting to like that was a way for the author to hold back information, to not just like reveal everything about Raven and where she comes from and why she might be special, and also holding back her powers because sometimes main characters can be very, very powerful from the get-go. And she's holding back her powers for a big reveal later. And I thought that it was done in a way that made sense and not just done and done. It does make sense that you sit in there like you get why the author's doing it, but it's not done particularly well. So it's not convincing to you. But for me, it felt convincing to like, okay, she can't use her powers, but it makes sense why. And then we're gonna try to figure out like obviously how to solve this. I was trying to find a map I got a really cute package with stuff. And I got this very cute, cool map from the world. And we were traveling in this map. But I didn't actually look at the map once when reading. Because sometimes I don't need to know exactly where we are on a map, even though it can be really fun. Because I'm just like, let's just read. And then other like kind of, what's it called, superstition came in. Like we went to places where you're not supposed to go. And like it's surrounded by legend and in this land. And it felt very real. And I really enjoyed like revealing these legends and what is truth or not. And exploring this world. And at the same time, obviously developing the characters and then discovering parts of themselves. Raven is from a tribe of shapeshifters. But Yadak is from a tribe. And I didn't really understand his thing at once. Like, it took me a second to understand, like, that he had a bear. And I thought, like, is bear just a word for, like a spirit following them? I think it's an actual bear. I thought at first it was a human and I just called them bears because they kind of connected to them. They communicate telepathically. And in the beginning, the bear was, like, in a necklace because he used, like, a spell to put him in a necklace so he can bring it with him. But you can, like, walk around with a bear because he was like undercover trying to spy and find the map and the key and stuff. Not the key, the stone. And I was like, are we walking around with an actual bear? And I think so. I'm still not 100% sure actually. But he can talk, he's like intelligent, etc. And it's like their bond and like the trio we got with like the bear. Yar, I think his name was. Ka was his name. The deep bond between them and like how he protected them and like how he like slowly like really liked Raven, and I just love the three of them together. And I thought that was a really like cool added thing to the story. Overall, just very enjoyable with the three of them on the road. I want to show you another thing that I got in the package because when I got it, it didn't make any sense. I was like, what? Because I got a key, and I think this key was like a symbol in Raven's tribe, and like there was more about the key, but maybe it's a spoiler, and now I can't remember in a second. And I also got the stone, which they are looking for. So I have the stone now, which is a really tiny stone, but I have it. And I thought it was cool that you kind of got the symbolic things that was in the story. I thought that was interesting. I was like, when I got it, I was like, why am I getting a stone and a key? But then you read a book and it makes sense. And I thought that was fun. It was a fun package because it made sense as you read a book. But yeah, overall, just like when everything played out in the end, I would say it wasn't like unpredictable, but it was still fun to see it play out. And now I'm very curious to see what will happen next. I thought for a second it was a standalone because it seemed like that on Goodreads, but it just seemed like it hasn't been added as a series yet. Because it's definitely more, because like this ended with much more to come. And now I'm really intrigued. Like I would definitely read the rest. And I just had like an overall very positive experience and just had a lot of fun. It was fun to explore this world, these characters, and just seeing them all discovering this world. Overall like a solid fantasy. I guess like if I was gonna complain, if we're gonna have like the negatives, is that just it's not gonna be a favorite of all time. It didn't like blow me away. I had a lot of like different tropes, but it managed to mix and mash it well together enough to be a solid story that I enjoyed and could recommend. But it's not like nothing I've never seen before, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because sometimes that can be overbearing and you're like, oh, this is so boring. But this worked really well. It did what it wanted to do really well, and it was very enjoyable. And I think that the author did an incredible job of like using these tropes that we've seen before, like the one bed trope. Not that they actually slept inside bed because they were just like, I was sleep on the floor, how boring, stuff like that. Like, and like the whole memory thing, etc. And like an evil king, like it worked incredibly well. And I want to see where these characters will go and how the story will go, because I feel like there's more secrets in Raven's past than we are to believe, and I want to know. Even though like in the end I feel like there's only one ending where it's like we defeat this evil king and then we are done with the story, but it's going to be like a journey to get through the end. But I do sometimes feel like stories like when we have one bad and then we used like a whole thing to defeat them, and I'm like, okay, we're done defeating them. I'm like, okay, we did it, guys, let's go. Like of all stories like that, I feel like I need sometimes more, but I would still enjoy it nonetheless, like the journey, you know. So yeah, I would recommend if you want to check it out. It is probably available on Kindle, etc. Unless you want a physical copy, then it's probably available on Amazon as well. I hope you enjoyed this little review. I was trying to be like more chill. I'm always chill, to be honest, let's be real. I am giving it 4 stars. I had a good time. I really liked it. Like I read it and I really enjoyed myself. So I'm happy about that. So thank you so much to the author for sending this to me. Thank you so much for you to watch this. And leave a key emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because look at this cover, lol. And you should see me soon in a new one. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.